Hey y'all, Harmony's Kitchen here, and welcome to the third episode of Cooking in Harmony. I'm so excited that you all are joining me today. Today is a special episode. As you can see, I'm all dressed up. So, some of you may know this, some of you may not know this, but currently I am serving as Miss Chittenden County. And in May of this year, I will be running for Miss Vermont. I'm so excited. In this episode, I'm actually going to be cooking a recipe from this really special book. And so this is the Miss America Cookbook. When I found out that this exists, I was just like super excited, and so I had to buy it. And so I bought it, and it came, and I was just flipping through the book, and I saw this one recipe I'll show y'all, zoom in. I saw this one recipe called Green Mountain Salad Dressing or Veggie Dip. And so the Green Mountain immediately, called to me because, we live in the Green Mountains, Vermont. This recipe is from Miss Vermont, 1960. Her name is Wendy Stevens, Miss Vermont 1960, and she has this recipe for a Green Mountain salad dressing. For today's episode, I thought it would be fun to cook a recipe from the Miss America Cookbook, to cook Miss Vermont specific recipe, and to discuss why I'm running for Miss Vermont and what it's been like so far as Miss Chittenden County. So I'm so excited. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's get started. I'm going to be taking off my sash though so it doesn't get messed up, but I will be keeping my crown on. Alright, so let's take a peek. Once again, here's the recipe. This recipe calls for 1 4-ounce package of pressed tofu. Got the tofu here. 5 whole scallions. 2 tablespoons of vinegar. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1/4 a cup of black pepper. Excuse me, not a cup, 1/4 a teaspoon of black pepper. Why I'm running for Miss Vermont, how I even got to being where I am now as Miss Chittenden County, and how the journey has been thus far. Alright? So, I have never competed in pageants before. Oh my gosh, that smells so good already. I'm so excited. I've never competed in pageants. I remember growing up, we'd get letters in the mail I grew up in New York City. I would get letters in the mail basically stating hey, we have these pageants going on, come join the pageant. And these are I'm not sure if this was the Miss America system, but it was some pageant system, and it always appealed to me. I was just I want to join this pageant. I would love to be in a pageant. But growing up, my mom was a single mom. We have 5 kids total, so and pageants to some degree can be pretty expensive. So that was just something I just took out of my mind, and I was never mind. So we're just going to use a little bit of this tofu. And so, funny enough, actually, one day I was actually in Boston, and it was my birthday. And for my birthday, I usually always walk around with a crown on. And so we're staying at, I think it was the Fairmount. And somebody comes up to me and they're where are you coming from? And I was I'm coming from Vermont. And they asked me if I was Miss Vermont. And I was no. I was what? Oh, the tiara on my head. No, I'm not Miss Vermont. And then I was just so flattered by that. Because, my history, I've always wanted to be in a pageant. I was super flattered by that. And so I searched up. I was who is Miss Vermont? What's going on? Who is this? And so I looked it up, and I saw, there were competitions that were happening in Vermont under the Miss America organization. And I was whoa, I've always heard of this organization. This is cool. I think I would love to go for this. And so this was a couple of years ago. I didn't join that pageant, and I didn't join the one after that. But this year I decided, you know what, I have the confidence that I really want to do it. You know, I want to do it. And it's because learning more about what this organization stands for, you know, it's not just a beauty pageant, it's a scholarship organization, you know, that focuses on so many, you know, amazing aspects. My favorite aspect is service and also success. Like, just seeing the way that this organization sets up young ladies for success. I wish I joined this organization sooner, because I've just learned so much, and just seeing how, you know, a lot of these girls are learning things that, you know, I'm just coming to learn in my 20s, and they're learning it, you know, at such a young age. It's amazing, and honestly, very cool. If you guys want to know a trick, so right now I need some lemon juice, right? I don't really want to cut into it, so what I'm gonna do here is actually, I'm just gonna rub it. All right, so rubbing it, and if you hear, we're gonna prick a little hole. That was a big hole. And then we're just gonna squeeze some juice inside. Nice, right? You saw that? Easy. I'm running for Miss Vermont because I want to, you know, give back to Vermont in a way that I feel like I haven't been able to. You know, the role of Miss Vermont, you know, she's traveling all over Vermont, and she gets to, you know, connect with Vermont in a way that is just so unique and so special. And being that this is a position of servitude, this is a position of, you know, bringing the community together, you know, these are things that have always, you know, appealed to my heart. I have an organizer / activist background, and so I've always really been in a position to, like, bring the community together and to serve my community, and to be able to do so in this capacity would just be a dream, you know? And so, yeah, I'm running for Miss Vermont because I want to be able to give back to Vermont. I want to be able to experience Vermont in a way that only Miss Vermont can, you know? My time as Miss Chittenden County has been so special. Being able to go into schools and talk to the youth about, you know, the organization, what it is that I do, and to inspire is just so amazing, you know. And you just feel like a princess. We are princesses in some regard, but you just feel like a princess, kind of just going on and about in the world, and just, you know, spreading like such goodwill. And so I love it. It's great. And then when little girls see you, they see you in your tiara, and it's like the way that their eyes light up, it's just so special. It makes me feel so special. Yeah. So right now I have everything blended up. I mean, not blended up yet. Everything in the blender. It smells so good. So I'm gonna blend this up, and we're gonna see what it looks like after. Be right back. All right, this is all blended up, and I can easily see why this is named Green Mountain Salad. So I just blended this for, like, you know, maybe a minute, and I set it to puree. But let's see what it tastes like. Let's see if I'll add anything. Okay. Very refreshing. Very refreshing. Okay. One thing though, add some salt. That black pepper is really coming through, and those onions, so delicious. I would add a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic powder. And then don't call me crazy, but I just feel like if we're talking about the Green Mountain, let's add a little bit of maple syrup. All right, I'm gonna give that a good mix. Let's see what it's giving now. I love just like experimenting. It's so much fun. Man, I just love the color on this. It's so pretty. Okay, let's see what it tastes like, huh? That's what I'm talking about. All right, now I'm gonna put this over a salad. And we're gonna keep talking about my journey to becoming Miss Vermont. So, I'm just putting some tomatoes. I wish I had some olives. Love olives so much. And I haven't really eaten today, so this is perfect. Perfect. Add some cucumbers. So, when you're under the Miss America organization, you are you're supposed to have a platform, and that platform, otherwise referred to as Community Service Initiative, is basically, what your focus of servitude to the community is going to be. This is some bacon crumbles. Love me some bacon, y'all. All right, let's add this beautiful Green Mountain dressing. Guys, this is gorgeous. Beautiful Green Mountain dressing over this nice salad. Wow. Wow. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at the color on that. Delicious. Thank you, Miss Vermont 1960, for this amazing recipe. I'm so excited to try this. Let's see. Oh, bacon. Can't wait. So, this year is a little extra special in that the Miss Vermont organization is going into our 80th year. So, if I'm crowned, I'll be crowned the 80th Miss Vermont. Wow. That's so good. That's so refreshing. And I love the use of tofu in this. I would have never thought of that. Big bite. Wow. Now all I can think about is some fried chicken bits in here. Lord. Delicious. So my community service initiative is food security for all. And that's because, me being a chef, a food entrepreneur, a caterer, cooking for people brings me such joy. And it's such a nurturing act. When I cook for folks, when I put on events centralized around food, it's just a great way to bring the community together, I've had the blessing over the past 5 years of being in business to use my position to, bring the community of Vermont together. And I hope as the next Miss Vermont, I'll continue to cultivate community. It's so important, especially living in Vermont. You can feel very isolated, and whether that's because you live deep in rural Vermont or because, things here, depending on where you live, can just be very far away, or the weather, or, people here tend to be a little bit more private than in other places as well. And so it could be hard to, cultivate community. And so I hope as Miss Vermont to be able to do just that. I want to be able to travel around the state and talk about, the need for community. I want to be able to spread awareness about food insecurity here in our own state. 1 in 4 Vermonters are struggling with hunger. That's our neighbors, you know? Those are folks in our communities. And I especially know this firsthand because I'm someone that, when I first moved here, when I was in college, I struggled greatly with food insecurity. I was someone that was heavily dependent on the food pantries around campus. So I know what it's like, you know, I know what it's like. And I want to change that, you know. There's so many great organizations here already doing such amazing work. Some of those organizations are Food Not Bombs, for instance, that serve a hot meal every day for lunch from 1 to 2 p.m. People's Kitchen is another one that ensures that folks are not only fed, but they're spreading awareness about different issues that are happening around our state, happening around the country, and happening around the globe. Vermont Food Bank is another organization that's working to stop food insecurity in our state. We have the power to stop food insecurity in our state. The issue isn't that there isn't enough food. It's about access to food. It's about where food is going and where it's not going, you know? And Vermont Food Bank has this coalition with them and a bunch of other organizations that's working to fight against hunger. They've come up with a roadmap, which I'll link in the caption here. They came up with a roadmap to essentially stop hunger in Vermont. And they're calling on, you know, our state, they're calling on our government to take action and to lead the cause. Yeah. So my mission, as Miss Chittenden County, and hopefully as Miss Vermont, will be to work with these organizations, to propel these organizations that's already doing this amazing work, and to help combat food insecurity. You know, it's so important to feed our neighbors. It's so important to take care of each other. So I encourage you all. I encourage you to, if you have extra food, to donate it to the Vermont Food Bank, Feeding Champlain Valley. Food Not Bombs, they have cooking nights where you can volunteer your time and actually help cook for one of these lunch services. So I encourage you to sign up and to join. I'm hoping to host some cooking nights here in the kitchen myself. Yeah, but together, y'all, together we can really help not only bring our communities together, but to feed our communities as well. Being in the position of Miss Vermont and having the opportunity to focus on something so important as this is another major reason why I'm running for Miss Vermont. You know, you're able to use this newfound platform to actually invoke change that is needed, to actually help your neighbors, to help our communities. Yeah. And to just raise awareness, you know, when you have a platform like this, people are paying attention, people are listening. And I want folks to listen. I want folks to realize that our neighbors are hungry and that it's time to take action. All right? And it can be as simple as donating your time or, you know, giving extra food that you may have. Me being a caterer, I find that sometimes I may have extra food. So if I do, I just literally donate it to one of their lunch services at times. And if you're another food business, I encourage you to do the same. Maybe you own a bagel shop or something and you may have extra bagels. Donate it, you know? Maybe you made too much extra pasta one day. Donate it, you know? I think restaurants and other food businesses can play a major role in feeding all of our neighbors. All right? But, yeah. Shout out once again to Miss Vermont 1960. Thank you so much for this amazing Green Mountain salad recipe. It's just so cool. It's just so green, you know? know? But yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and I want to be able to impact Vermont through this platform, and you know, to inspire young women, and to encourage young women to just be there, you know, for my newfound sisters. Yeah. Anyway, y'all, as you can see, being in this position makes me really happy. Makes me really happy, and the thought of being Miss Vermont makes me extra happy. But yeah, let me know what you want me to cook next. I think I'm gonna keep sifting through this book and seeing what else, you know, I can find that piques my mind. Maybe there might be something else from another Miss Vermont. But I've been seeing a lot of cool things. Like I see a seafood gumbo by Miss Alabama 1951. That could be fun to cook. Until next time, see ya.